Moonshine Comedy.
Hi, my name is Benjamin McWilliams.
And I'm Silvio.
And I'm Raul Kohli.
And we're here lost in Lithuania. So this is our 8th episode, right?
8th episode, and we have a guest, believe it or not.
Yeah, why don't you we only have 2 microphones, so we're gonna do a little bit of and then this, because we're still figuring things out, and that's perfectly okay in my book. Alright, so
Trial and error, yeah.
Yeah, trial and error. Raul, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
My name is Raul Kohli. I'm a comedian from the UK. I also do acting, voiceover work. I'm from Newcastle upon Tyne. Do a lot of football stuff. I'm the host of the BBC Sport NUFC Total Sport podcast. I've also got a podcast on BBC Sounds called Comic Sanskrit that is all about Hinduism. I've done voiceovers for Lego and lots of other things. And I frequently travel around the world, particularly Europe, doing stand-up and just discovering countries and leveraging stand-up as a way to travel.
Wait, so you do you do translation, Hindu translation of Lego?
That's you've really amalgamated a lot there and come out with the wrong answer.
There was a lot more in between.
I have a podcast about Hinduism on BBC Sounds, which sort of like explains Hinduism via stand-up, sketch, and an interview with a priest. It's a very big religion, and not a lot of people know a lot about it, including before the podcast myself. But I do voiceovers. I did a voiceover for Lego. And that's a completely separate thing. It's on YouTube.
So what is your impression about our setup in the podcasting scene?
Yeah, how do you think about our setup?
Buy a third mic. If you're going to have a guest, that would probably be the very first thing. Buy a third
the
mic.
thing is that we did not expect to have a guest so fast along the way.
I was kind of thinking about it, but the only problem is I was like, all right, I need to get a mic, but then this mic just broke. This is a broken one, so we're like, oh, we're going with what we can use.
That's broken.
Yeah, look
and you're still using it, or
the clip-on.
Oh, the clip-on.
The clip-on thing's broken, so
this
it's like
is
not
what
that
I
bad.
hate about all this content creation and recording your clips and uploading. It was like I got into comedy to avoid getting a real job. And now it feels like I have 7 real jobs because I'm a comedian, I'm a PA, I book my trains, I'm an agent, I book my gigs, I'm a social media manager, and I've got to be like a sound and tech expert as well now. And I don't know how any of this shit works. But for an Asian guy, for an Indian, I am terrible with technology. But if I wanted to be an Indian working in IT and tech, I would have just done what my parents told me and never became a stand-up in the first place.
Yeah, that might have been a good idea. Yeah, you don't realize how much work it goes to being a comic. Like all the back work. It's like the writing, the video editing. Like you need all these type of skills that you've never really thought about having. So
that was only really recent. I mean, to be fair, it's been going for years. And I remember sort of when I started stand-up, I saw this guy called, like, you know, these YouTube creators. I didn't, like, you know, I heard this controversy about this guy called Logan Paul. Didn't know he was. I saw this guy called True Geordie ranting about the Newcastle United game, and I was like, stand up, that's what I want to do. And they've gone on to just make like millions because they were at the forefront of a new industry, and I am doing okay. But I kind of feel like looking back at then, I decided to learn how to spearfish when everyone was discovering the net.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can get 10,000 more fish. It's just what I do is objectively cooler. But it just does not pay anywhere near as well.
Well, actually, because of your stand-up career, so this is the first time when you're coming to Vilnius to do shows?
First time in Lithuania, yeah. I've done Latvia and Estonia twice now. I've done a lot of Estonia. Very good friends out there. You know, I've got a soft spot for that country. Sandaroigus, Arimati, Karl. Lots of good friends out there. And Latvia I've done a couple of times now, and I just thought, you know, I might as well tick off all the Baltics. So I decided to do Lithuania this time. We found Ben, we found Lineup, and it was a lovely show, and it's been a lovely week so far.
Okay, so because the thing is that our podcast is more about Lithuania, so we need to ask about your honest opinion. But
honest opinion.
what was your impression before coming to Lithuania or to the Baltics?
I thought Lithuania would be more like Estonia and Latvia than it is. Lithuania is very unique compared to those two countries. I think it has maybe a stronger sense of identity. It's very quirky. Even just looking around this bar, it's a very quirky, hip kind of bar, isn't it?
Disco ball.
Disco ball. And like there's random pictures of Pablo Escobar and Snoop Dogg, and you have an egg for no apparent reason. Just a giant statue of an egg
Wait, what?
Where's the statue of? Oh yeah, the statue of the egg here in Village. You know the statue of the egg,
No.
right? It's right next to Lucille's Blues bar. Like there's kind of close to that area. They just have a giant egg.
In certain senses, it kind of reminds me of Belgium because it's so quirky and nothing really kind of makes sense.
Ah, that's Belgium. Don't compare us to Belgium. Don't like the Belgiums.
What's your problem with the Belgians?
Oh, you know,
they're all
actually-
pedophiles and slave traders.
Oh, that could be one. The pedophile and slave trade. No. My friends and I, we have a running joke about Belgium, where we just hate on Belgium for no apparent reason, and we have a bunch of stereotypes about Belgians that make no sense. Like, do you know Belgians can't swim?
Why do you call them Belgiums?
I don't know.
Belgians.
Belgiums. See, they're so weird. Why don't they want to be called Belgiums instead of Belgians? See, I don't agree with their culture. I don't agree with their lifestyle. It's terrible.
Yeah, to be fair, I think a lot of people don't. But Lithuania,
No.
unique country, Vilnius, unique country. I was quite surprised at the lack of English in shops and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I asked somebody if she spoke English, and she was like, no, quite unfriendly, and just walked past me. I asked another person at the pharmacy if they spoke English. They looked terrified. They looked like a drug dealer. And then she just ran to the back and got someone at the back who could speak English.
There might be a small explanation about they don't like foreigners. First of all, yeah, the younger generation speaks English, but they kind of don't like foreigners.
Some of them do. Some of them, like, it's a mixed bag. But I do like it. It's probably the old lady who didn't speak English. She went in the back, like, grabbed it, like, we have someone who speaks English. Here you go.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, that's another thing I've realised is you say they don't like foreigners. Yeah, this country's quite, compared to most of the countries I've met, Latvia and Estonia included, it's still quite isolated. There's still not a lot of major Western brands I see around the place. It's still quite homegrown. Everything's still very Lithuanian.
I mean, there are some, like,
I've seen a McDonald's and that is it. I've not seen a Subway. I've not seen a Burger King.
Don't they have
I've
a
not seen
Burger King?
KFC.
They have a Burger
have
No,
Burger
they have
King,
the
they have
KFC.
KFC,
They have the
they have
KFC at
them.
Genomina Prospecta.
Yeah.
They have, and then they have the
We've got one
Decathlon.
KFC.
No,
We've
there
got-
are more of them.
There are more than one.
More than one? Okay, maybe
More
I've
of
just
them
not
in
seen them yet.
probably you haven't been in like the all the areas, but what they have here, they have this Hesburger, which is like the Baltic version.
I've been to Hesburger. I had it in
Yeah.
Estonia. It's like, is it Finnish or is it Estonian? It's Estonian.
I think it is from Finland.
It's Finnish.
Finland,
It's a shitty burger. That's my opinion.
Scandinavian Baltic McDonald's,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, I rated it. I enjoyed Hesburger when I went there. I've had it a few times now. I like Hesburger.
He is bought and paid for by Hess Burger.
I would be the worst ambassador for Hesburger. But when in Rome, do you know what I mean? When in, if you're in somewhere and that's how you guys live and that's what you guys eat, I want to see how the local people doing it locally. and I'm
Nah,
gonna do
you
that.
what you gotta do is you gotta go to the Cavines. Like, have you had a Zeppelini or Shoti Barshe? No.
It doesn't count as visiting
You
Lithuania.
didn't visit
We said in an
Lithuania.
episode that to fully visit Lithuania, you need to eat zeppelini,
And the
to
pink
eat the
soup.
pink soup, and to black out at least once.
It's pretty hard to make me black out. I am a strong drunk. I'm a
Okay.
very impressive drunk. I come from Newcastle. I am.
In Lithuania, you might find some good competitors for
Oh, I
that.
don't know. We got. What? Can I swear on this podcast?
Of course, you
We
can do
got
anything.
fucked up on Sunday and I was still standing. I was still standing. It takes a lot to get me really fucked up. I'm going on a stag do in Amsterdam this weekend and I still think even then, you know, I'm going to be standing tall. I'm going to be standing strong.
How old are you?
32.
Oh, 32.
How
I
are
don't
you?
know. Oh yeah, I am 35 years. This is great. We're like, oh yeah, but I am 35 years old. I think I'm 36. But I can't drink like I used to. I get bad hangovers. Like I drink one shitty beer, bam, I'm fucked up.
I got a lot less bad hangovers since I've given up nicotine. But I do find increasingly as I get older, alcohol sort of depresses me sometimes. Yeah, like the next morning I'm like a little bit depressed.
Yeah, I kind of like it fucks with your emotions.
It really does. It is a depressant. It is a massive depressant. Like at the time when you're on it, like for me, it's like it kind of hits like a stimulant. It makes me a bit more buzzing, excited, a bit more cognitively like focused. And then the next morning, that's when the depressant element kicks in.
It's like you're borrowing good time from the next day when you're getting
Exactly that. Like MDMA and serotonin.
Okay, so you say like Lithuania is a little more unique compared to Riga and
Yeah.
Tallinn? Like in what ways? Like how would you describe it? Like in
I'm just
another way?
personally walking around, seeing less Western brands. I've met less people who speak English. I've seen just far more local Lithuanian brands here, and things here, and unique senses of cultural heritage that I still think exist in Latvia and Estonia, but simply just not to the level they do in Lithuania.
I mean, Lithuanians they're like one thing they're very proud. Like I think they're the one of the countries that have preserved their language the best. But they also, they used to be book smuggling. They used to get killed for bringing in books that were in Lithuania.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised by that because in Estonia they used to pirate, like the only people who got the news were in Tallinn, and how they got the news was they'd pirate Finnish radios. Mm-hmm. So they'd pirate Finnish radios from the north of the country, and that's how they got free information. And that's why in Estonia, like, there's Wi-Fi. You can go in the forest and you get like Wi-Fi or 5G because they believe access to data and information is a human right because of their experience under the Soviets. Okay. How do you think the experience of the Soviets has sort of shaped like Lithuanian culture?
Well, definitely, because I can say that about Romania as well. We had communism also, so the thing which you're saying with pirating the radio from neighboring countries, it was happening in Romania also from Serbia. So, as in terms of shaping the culture of each countries, it's a bit of a Russification process when you are changing like the local heritage, the local language they are trying to teach everybody. The only foreign language that were taught in school was actually Russian, not any of the Western languages or stuff.
No English.
So it was basically a process of making everything as in Russia. So, and people are very proud also about the fact that now they have their own country, so they love it more than other people.
I think
to
like
get for
sometimes
granted.
in the West we really take for granted patriotism, and then when you come out to this side of the world, Eastern, or as you guys like to call yourselves, Central Europe.
Actually, this
That's
is
when
called.
you're like, actually, yeah, I can see why people are very patriotic and kind of proud and fiercely hold on to their identity.
Actually, it's not called Central Europe here. It's called the Baltics. We're the
yes,
Baltics.
yeah,
We're
this
not
is the
Central.
Baltics, yeah.
But I would say like one difference is like they're very patriotic. They're very proud of their language. They're like when it comes to shaping like Russification, they're also like pretty not welcoming to Russian people, like in some places.
You guys have because Estonia have like Russian ghettos.
Yeah, I mean there
Do you
are
guys have,
some
like, Russian ghettos,
Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are some Russian ghettos here.
Does
but-
it sometimes like kick off there like it does in Estonia, like riots and stuff like that?
No, like
Nothing that we heard of, but basically they don't have like a, let's say, a problem with the Russians that are living here. They have a problem with Russians that are come from outside, maybe to disturb the balance. Yeah,
that's what they said. Like the riots in, I mean, I obviously don't have the facts, but like according to my reading, the riots in Estonia and these Russian ghettos were because they imported like essentially Russian actors from Russia to like stir the pot a bit to sort of. Do you guys go, oh, you know, this country should still be Russian? Look at how they're treating the Russians in Estonia.
I think also like because in Estonia and Latvia you have a huge population that speaks Russian because like a lot of the jobs, a lot of people, like a lot of Russians got shipped there, but not a lot of Russians got shipped to Lithuania because in Lithuania there wasn't like it was mostly agriculture, so like a lot of the stuff they didn't need a huge Russian presence, so there wasn't a strong of like a Russian population here in Lithuania, except like Visaginas is where the nuclear power plant was. So yeah, so it's definitely there's less like Russians who got put here as opposed to Estonia and Latvia.
Right, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And that also may sort of, I don't know, maybe sort of tie into why there is such a strong sense of Lithuanianness or Lithuanian culture here.
No, they are. I mean, they are very proud. They're like, yeah. I always like to say like Lithuanians love shitting on their country, but no one else can make fun of them. It's like a little brother. Like you're like, my little brother's a piece of shit, but you can't make fun of him.
Yeah, a lot of these Baltic nations have that sort of vibe. What do you guys think the best thing about Lithuania is?
Oh,
It's
we were not expecting that. Maybe you want to go first, like.
Oh, what would be my? So what was it again?
What do you think the best thing about Lithuania is?
A best thing about Lithuania. I think the best thing about Lithuania is it's like a fairly new country and it's still trying to form like some sort of, yes, it's a country with deep, rich history, but it's also like a fresh country still trying to figure itself out. And that's something beautiful because they only got independent in the 1990s.
91, yeah, that's really cool. That's a really good way of putting it.
And it's like really fun watching like things grow, and even like I think there's like a huge disparity between the generations because you have like this generational trauma, and it's also interesting looking at that like culturally wise, because these people were basically oppressed, they got like a lot of other people got sent off to like Siberia, all these different places, and they still they still are trying to like make a better future, make a brighter future. Like I feel like at least in America, like our politicians, everyone's about like preserving and making sure the older people still have their money.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, what's going on here? Because this country's like incredibly expensive, which kind of shocked me. Like taxis are the only thing that's cheap.
We don't understand that also.
We don't understand.
The inflation is
going wild here. Like it is.
Like it's like everything is expensive. Pints are about as expensive as England. Food's about as expensive as England. Although I did have a pasta and a beer the other day for €10. That was pretty good. But it's not that different. And I was really quite shocked. I thought in the Baltics it'd be markedly cheaper.
I mean,
taxis are a bargain. Taxis are like $3.50 every journey because of Bolt or whatever. But everything else is like pretty expensive.
But it also depends on what time of the day you get Bolt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because in the night, if you are too drunk, it will be way more expensive. Yeah. But I guess it's applicable. But in England, maybe it will be even more expensive, like 3 times more expensive.
Yeah,
than normal fare.
there's not a single journey you could get for $3.50. Do you know what I mean? It would be like £10 minimum. It was like €5 from the airport. It was like a 20-minute journey.
Okay.
Journey, I mean about £20-30 in the UK.
Okay, so I've got a question. How much are beers then in the UK for like a pint of beer?
It's getting pretty crazy actually. You go to some bars, particularly down south, it's like 6, 7, 8, 10 quid, but it's about 5, 6. Yeah, I'd say 5, 6 at the minute.
Yeah, so about the same.
In Vilnius, there's only one bar basically that is selling it for cheaper, and
Plus.
it's for students, but everywhere else it kind of 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
It's like I was just not expecting that, but I think the growth has been so quick in the former USSR, and that just naturally leads to inflation. Like I remember when I went to Poland in 2010 when I went to Warsaw, you could go into we went to this bar in like the center of like the old town, in like the center of the castle, and it was like €2 for a litre of Tyskie. We just sat there getting steadily battered all day. And then when I went back, it was not like that at all. It was a lot more expensive when I went a couple of years ago after the pandemic. And also they built all these new financial skyscraper buildings, but beers are about €4 or €5 there.
Well, that's kind of what happened, is like the pandemic just made everything more expensive.
Yeah, I thought it would make everything cheaper. What happened there?
Greedy corporations, they were like...
Yeah, but also I think supply chains got fucked, and then there was sort of like a leftover. Everything kind of didn't work.
You never answered the question. What was the best part about Lithuania?
Well, I want to correct you because Lithuania is not a new country. It's a country that regained their freedom in 91.
In 91, but they were not independent for a long period of time.
That is a man whose family heritage is shrouded in the legacy of the USSR. It is not a new country. It is a country that has regained its independence.
Yeah, but the Romanians were never part of USSR also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just had communists. We were not part of the Soviet Union. That also. But what I like about Lithuanians is that for real, they like their countries. They love their countries more than Romanians do, for example. And it's more clean than a lot of Western countries. Here do you have the same impression that maybe there are more garbages on the street in Western countries, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the UK is shocking for it, to be fair. There's garbage everywhere, and we've just slowly cut the council funding, so like they barely take the pins out anyway. But some parts of the UK are properly awful. But you're right, I've not actually thought about that until I've realised, but this place is very, very clean.
It's very clean, actually.
Very clean.
So yeah, that's the thing which I like the most. Like people are loving their country, and so
it's clean.
And it's
no
clean
trash.
also. Yeah,
There's such a low bar. They're like, they actually clean up the place.
They have bins,
and they use them.
Yeah,
bins in Romania.
By it's not like. The thing is that for me it was shocking in a lot of even in London, I've been there multiple times, and there are literally trashes in places that they're not supposed to be trashes, basically. And it's the people's fault basically, not the authorities. They are placing the containers.
Well,
It takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. I
Of
think
course,
it's the
of
people and the
course.
authorities.
So that's why I'm saying I love the fact that people, Lithuanians, love their country more.
Yeah, but you have to like nudge people into good decisions. You know what I mean?
Of course.
yep, you have to be like, hey, would you like to do the right thing? All right,
Yeah.
well, it's
Maybe just one thing in the ending, and we don't want to interfere between anyway. Make a top of the 3 Baltic countries or capitals.
rank
if you
them.
want.
Yeah, give them a ranking.
Oh man, well, just rankings depend on experience, isn't it? So, oh god, you're not gonna like this, but my experience in Estonia has to be number 1. You know, I'm running around with celebrities there. They're showing me the country. They're showing me a real good time. We got the sauna and all this sort of stuff. I really saw a whole way of life, and it made me fall in love with the country and the Baltics in a way that I didn't realize was possible. And then Latvia. That's probably number 2, just because I had a wild night and a great time. But Lithuania's not done. I still have 2 nights here. So we'll see how the next 2 nights. I mean, I've had a great time so far, but it is yet to rival what I got up to in both Estonia and Latvia.
You just have to wait for like the right moment, especially the weekends. Weekends are like the best.
Well,
time
that's
to
it.
go.
I've not been here for a weekend, so that might be. I arrived on the Monday, and I'm leaving on the Friday, so that might be sort of why I have a bit of a. Yeah, it's not been quite as good as Latvia and Estonia when I've been there for weeks and the weekend.
Okay, we
All
cut.
right,
We
so-
cut 3 minutes. 3 minutes ago, we cut it.
3 minutes ago.
2 days left. If some Lithuanian woman wants to touch my penis, then maybe we can save this. Okay, maybe Lithuania can go straight to the top. We'll find out. We'll see how it plays out.
All right, let's edit that one out. No. All right, so again, this is Lost in Lithuania. I'm Benjamin McWilliams. This is part of Moonshine Comedy. So we're here recording again at Flow Bar. Flow Bar is where we do our open mics. If you want to come check out some comedy, that's where you go. And yeah, do you any other things to say?
Also in Pahonia every Tuesday at 8. Flow Bar at 8 every Thursday.
Yes.
Give a like, a subscribe, and yeah, see you next time.
All right, yeah. See you next time. Wait, well, last word of the podcast. There you go.
Follow me on social media at Raul Kohli Comic, RaulKohliComic.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Moonshine Comedy.